Alrighty. Well, welcome back to Buick Outdoors. If you're new around here, my name is Sheldon Marion, and today I'm doing a little bit of a different video. This is for basically kind of the people that have been around here for a little while that are fans of the YouTube channel and all that stuff. Typically I'm outside doing something, hunting, fishing, exploring fossils, dinosaur tracks, gear reviews, but today I'm kind of taking a step back and I'm wanting to do just like a kind of like a year end review video and kind of go over what we've accomplished this year, what we're looking forward to going into the next year, what kind of plans and ideas and trips that we have kind of all set up. And also, this is just a video just to pretty much say thank you to everybody for this last year, and to say thank you for what you guys done over the course of the years. I started this in 2019 in March, and ever since then it's just kind of slowly grown into somewhat of a community online on the old YouTube channel. And it's one of those things where I didn't really expect it to kind of take this route when I first started. I thought I would just kind of have fun with it, make up some videos here and there, and I kind of treated it like a TV show almost, which was, at the time, I thought it was kind of cool, but now I look back, it's like, meh, whatever. It was fun at the time. But, over the course of this last year, we have gone out and we've done some pretty cool things. At the start of the year, kind of like what I'm doing right now in the winter, we have some odd weather up here in the north, and a lot of times you just can't get out and do stuff. So that's when I usually kind of take a step back and I get into more gear reviews and podcasts and stuff like that. And, so at the beginning of this year, we started New Year's out on the ice, out on, what lake was that? Cameron Lake, I believe. And then from there, I was pretty well just kind of doing videos just to kind of do them. Basically, whenever we got any kind of half decent weather, I'd go outside and I'd film some stuff here and there. And for me, it was enjoyable. I don't really know if they're really like video worthy, but it is what it is. What I've been saying since I kind of started this is I'm just kind of like the average typical guy, and there's a lot of us where when you have one of them nice -5 winter days, you just want to go outside. You've been kind of getting cabin fever, being stuck in the house all the time all winter. So, and you get those nice warm days, and you might take a walk along the beach, and that's basically what I did, and just kind of said, hey, you know what? This is one more thing that you guys can do. Kind of a deal. That is my main focus of this channel, is just to inspire people to get outdoors and stuff. And so far, I think I'm actually achieving that. With these review videos too, the majority of times now, there is like discount codes and stuff like that that kind of go with them too. So not only is it a video to kind of just to have a video up over the course of the winter, I'm also making some money off of them. If you use the discount codes or you click on the links and stuff, I get like a portion of the sales from time to time. But other than that, once we finally started to actually get like some warmer weather, we started going along the beach there in Williston Lake and finding fossils and stuff, and those were really fun to do. I really enjoyed them. It seems like some people enjoy those videos as well. And then after that, it was basically getting into bear hunting. I took that one bear early in May. Then I had a really cool stalk with one, And I filmed that for a hunt, and then it turns out I shot and I missed. But the stock itself was still pretty cool, so I put that up there, and I wasn't too sure how that was gonna go, but it seems some of you guys enjoyed watching that, so that's always good. Uh, Meanwhile, while I was doing that too, I was doing a lot of exploring in the area. I'm still new-ish to this area, so I was going out, basically hunting bears and checking for any bear signs, but at the same time, exploring new roads, new creeks, new rivers, new mountainsides or hillsides and stuff. And this spring, I I wouldn't say I discovered new dinosaur tracks, but I logged new dinosaur tracks, I guess, or reported new dinosaur tracks to Royal BC Museum, and then that started a whole other thing where the museum actually came up here from Victoria and checked out the dinosaur tracks and actually have it like logged in their database or whatever as like an actual dinosaur trackway site now. So having that was pretty cool. There was um yeah, that brought some weird heat locally. Uh, there's a lot of locals. Well, I wouldn't say a lot. There's a couple of really loud locals, we'll say, where they did not like that idea at all. That not only did I report them to Royal BC Museum, but then they actually came out and they checked them out and they took some pictures and GPS coordinates and all that stuff. And then I also filmed it. Uh, and I've been telling people, where to go, how to get there, and encouraging people to go out with their friends and their family and their kids and check it out and all that stuff. And yeah, I got a little bit of heat from a couple locals over that, but at the end of the day, the majority of the town, the majority of people I talked to, it was all positive, and I'm gonna keep providing videos like that for people. Uh, and I don't like to hide stuff, things like that. If that gets people outside and it gets people to come up here to the north and spend time in our small towns and our communities and spend some hard-earned money at some of our local sandwich shops or the hotels and restaurants and stuff, man, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'll probably double down on those videos. uh, Especially when it comes to something like fossils and dinosaur tracks. I'm a 32-year-old grown man who is fascinated with this stuff. And when I was a kid, if you would have said, hey, this is a dinosaur track, and I was able to stand there and put my hand in that trackway site, you know, it would have been just absolutely mind boggling. Or if you took me out to like Williston Lake and said, hey, look, this is a seashell that used to be on an ocean floor, and now we're picking them up from the sand here in the hills right close to the base of mountains and stuff, and like this used to be underwater, it would just boggle my mind, and who knows, it might have put me on a different path in life. Like I might have became a paleontologist kind of a deal. So I mean, I'm not saying I'm doing that, but uh, there's a chance that kids that come out now because of the videos I make over this stuff, it could have like an actual life changing potential. So I mean, it's neat. I like it. It's pretty cool. Uh, Also this summer, uh, I did buy a couple of boats. There's been one boat on the channel that you've seen, old Ruby, that old, was it a 1967 Glasscraft boat? Bought that at an auction for $700. Had to fix up the steering, got the motor running. I did a bunch of adjustments on the carb, got it running actually good. Took it out for its maiden voyage, and you know it was a great little project. It was fun for me to do. It seems like a few people liked it. That's the problem with channels like mine, is that I'm not just a strictly one niche thing. I bounce around all over the place, and I understand for a lot of you out there, it would be difficult to watch my channel because I go over so many different uh, things. One day it'll be I'm fishing, the next day I'm, who knows, making a walking stick with diamond willow, and then the next video that comes out, I'm checking out fossils. Video after that, I'm doing a gear review on a rifle, or you know, it would be hard to follow, and I understand that, and I'm not going to apologize for it because it's what I do, it's what I enjoy, and it's what a lot of like average outdoorsmen do. So I mean, you know, if you unsubscribe because there's not enough chicken hunting videos, well, sorry about that, but come back in September. There'll be one or two more up there every year for you to check out. Something like bear hunting videos or fishing or boat projects, things with a holiday trailer. You know, every year something changes. Every year there's a new, kind of like a new fling. This year it was basically boat projects and fossils. Uh, what was it the year before? Fishing. Like, it's whatever. Over the course of the years, I got a little bit of everything on here. So I mean, if you're new to the channel, it's great because you can go back and you can watch all sorts of stuff. If you're into cooking, there's a bunch of cooking on there. If you're into wild medicines or harvesting, you know, chaga, diamond willow fungus, I got a bunch of that on there. If you're into hunting, I got that. Fixing boats, I got that. Dinosaur tracks, fossils, like in general, at the very long end of the road, when I have this huge collection of a bunch of random videos kind of thing, it's gonna be worth it. Right now, I bet you I'm still another 3 years away from actually, uh, I don't even know the word for it, not really making it, but having a direction? No, that's not it either. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's cluttered. It's cluster. It's random. And like I said though, I'm not gonna apologize for it because that's what a majority of you guys do as well. It's Saturday. What are you doing Saturday? Well, do you go golfing every single Saturday? No, every once in a while you go off and you do something else, and you do what you want to do, and you do what you enjoy, and that's what I do. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that I enjoy. But yeah, so we had all them boat projects, and then I also filmed actually working with the paleontologist up here on a dig site. That that one's been a project for quite a few years now, ever since the discovery of it. But yeah, that was a fun little thing to do. I spent, what was it, 3 days with them, and I think I got 4 videos out of that or something like that. But yeah, that was extremely fun to do. I really enjoyed working with them guys, and I can say like I actually worked with them. I was helping expose new fossils, exposing new tracks. I'm getting marked down as the founder of one of the. It was like a seed fossil, and they say you don't find them very often, and it's not like a mind-boggling like, oh my god, you found this special. Nah, it's nothing like that. It's just something that they just don't find it very often, but it also gives them a good idea as to what kind of plants were in the area the time that these dinosaurs were here. So that's gonna be kind of cool. My name's gonna be in the records somewhere in the Royal BC Museum. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Uh, then after that, we went to Kitimat, and me and Shelby spent, was it 4 or 5 days on the father-in-law's boat out there. Uh, with that, there was a lot of fishing and a lot of small little segments and stuff like that. Uh, what I ended up doing is I didn't do a video every Friday from that trip. It was like every Friday and Monday. So on Fridays, I was putting up like a full length video that was anywhere between like 15 minutes to 45 minutes, however long it was. And then on Mondays, I was putting up videos of like all the small little things that you're doing. You know, it's like hoop nets or how to rig up a flasher on a downrigger instead of on your fishing line, kind of a thing. And I was doing that, because I do like to hand out, tips and tricks and try different things when you're out fishing and different techniques and stuff like that. But it's also not like what I would call like a Friday video where it's like a main thing. And I think that actually worked pretty well in my favor. Um, where I was also messing around quite a bit while we were there. Like I caught a crab on my fishing rod with a big jig. He basically just they grab your jig and you reel it up, and like it's a fun, challenging way to actually catch crab. So like there are small things like that, and those videos. I was fishing for that crab for like an hour and a half, and I could show that, but it's gonna be an hour and a half of me looking down, going, oh, I feel him. You reel it up. Oh no, he fell off, and then drop your jig back down, and like, my God, would that be boring to watch? So I'm looking at it now. I ended up taking like an hour and a half or 2 hours of fishing, and I knocked it down to about 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 23 seconds to be exact. But there's a bunch of stuff like that. Rigging up your halibut rig. The father-in-law, he was saying like anytime that they go on the Kitsaway Bay, they always just drop one of their halibut rigs off the side of the boat in like 60 feet of water, and he says that he catches halibut there. And that one is like a very, very specific video. But I mean, it was a 2 minute video. I thought, whatever, I'll throw it up regardless. Somebody at some point in time is gonna be going fishing in Kitimat, and they'll see Kitsaway Bay, and they'll see all the boats that are parked in there because it's a really nice place to anchor up at. And somebody will Google it or get onto YouTube or whatever, and they'll just type in Kitsaway Bay, and eventually somebody will watch my video and go, "Oh, you can catch halibut in there." So there is a method to the madness, kind of a thing. And then after that, there's a red dot site. A company sent me that in like the winter. I said I was gonna do up a video for them, and it just it took months and months and months because I didn't know when I could do it, kind of a deal. And then that eventually came out in October, and it wasn't too bad. It was a cheap little red dot site, and I still got it. Uh, I don't know if I put that back into the box or if it's still in my gun or not. I don't know. It's around here somewhere. That's the problem with some of these things when they send me stuff. It is good equipment, and I did use it. But then after a while, like that red dot sight, that'd be fun for a plinking 22, or just a plinking rifle or pistol in general. But for me, I don't do that much plinking. If I had a little semi-auto, cool looking gun that I like to go out and just shoot targets with, oh, I would 100% throw that onto that rifle and it would just live there. But unfortunately, you know, my stuff is mainly just meant strictly for hunting. I don't really do much of that plinking and target shooting anymore. It takes up a lot of time, it takes up a lot of money now with the price of ammo. So yeah. Uh, After that, this year I got into mushroom hunting a little bit more. Uh, what was that bleat called, was it the Aspen Bolete or Birch Bolete? I don't know, it was one of the two. And that video, it did alright. Shaggy mains, they're all over the country, we find them lots. And then getting into this fall, I did some grouse hunting, but for whatever reason, it wasn't just here, it was kind of everywhere. Uh, there was just no chickens this year. I don't know why. I didn't see much for owls. There wasn't much for hawks. Uh, Hardly anything for eagles. So yeah, I don't know. It was just a bad year for chickens. It could have been from a lack of snow over the winter. Because I know a lot of times when you get like your typical snow, the birds, they burrow inside the snow, and they just kind of live there. That's why in the spring you'll see like these big piles of chicken poop. They're like 6 inches wide and like an inch tall. That's from a chicken just burrowing into the snow and just staying there for God knows how long, kind of thing. But maybe with the lack of snow, they were just easier to pick off. So even though there wasn't a lot of predators, those predators were able to find the chickens so much more easy, and they just wiped them out, kind of a thing. But if that's the case, what you'll see this year is a lot of owls and hawks and all that stuff from being able to go into the winter extremely healthy. And then next year there'll be birds all over the place, like predator birds. And then the chickens and rabbits, they'll be kind of suffering for another year. And then kind of what happens is it kind of goes into a cycle. Next winter, going into the winter, the predators won't be nearly as healthy, so they won't have as much offspring. But then with that, the prey animals, like the chickens and the rabbits, they'll be able to reproduce and breed. And then in 2026, you'll see a little uptick in the rabbits and the chickens. So yeah, 2025 probably not going to be the best year for small game hunting, just like 2024. But 2026, I bet you it should be back up to normal. What else did we do? I got my deer this year. That was pretty cool. Now we're kind of back into gear reviews and all that stuff. And looking back at like the analytics and things like that, I don't know if people really care overly too much, but it's something that I can share with you guys and we can kind of celebrate it together, or it's something for me to look back on because as a YouTuber and stuff like that, we go through a lot of data, a lot of numbers and stuff like that. And so for the year 2024, from January 1st, today's the 29th of December, I got 423,815 views. So, I mean, 500,000 views in 1 year is crazy, especially considering since 2019, so 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It took me 5 years to get my first million views. Since then, it took me 1 year to get 500,000. So, I mean, it's the way that YouTube goes, it kind of goes up in steps almost, and it's little steps at first, and then the steps get bigger and bigger, and pretty soon those steps kind of turn into a ramp almost. And I think maybe that's where I'm kind of starting to get to over the next probably 2 more years. Is it slowly starting to ramp up? Like it took me 5 years to get 1 million views, and now at the end of 2024, I don't know what it is for lifetime views, but I think it's 1.3 million views. Oh man, so since 2019 I've gotten 1.3 million views, and out of that 1.3, what was it, 400,000 has been from this year alone. So, like, man, that's some big numbers. Same like watch time hours. Right now in 2024, I got 32.1 thousand hours of watch time. In the lifetime of the channel, 93,000. So again, it's just like the views where it took me 5 years to get 93,000 hours of watch time, and what was it? In 1 year, this last year, 32 of those 90 was from this year alone. So I mean that's wicked. And then revenue wise, I don't really know if I want to say how much money I made on here. It's less than $5,000 this year. We'll put it that way, just because I don't like to really put that out in the world, because then people get strange when it comes to money. We'll put it that way. People think, not all people, but there are select few people that think, if you're on YouTube making these videos, getting crazy numbers like 1.3 million views, kind of thing, that you're just raking in the money. It's not the case whatsoever. But it is kind of neat, kind of keeping you guys in the loop to a certain degree, though. I don't want to give away everything that I've done, but it is pretty nifty, especially if you're a person that's wanting to get into YouTube and you just kind of don't know if it's worth it. I'll be honest with you, for the first several years, if you're doing it for money, it's not worth it at all. You're not going to make a penny. You're not going to make nothing. But as a person who's creative or enjoys a challenge or something like that, then absolutely it's worth it. And it's a lot of fun if you're able to kind of get into a groove. And if you're starting out a YouTube channel or a podcast or anything like that, guys like me, because I just like structure, I made it where every Friday a video goes out. Every second Monday I'm putting up a podcast. Throughout this next month or so, it might change a little bit different. Probably 2 months for January and February. Just kind of depending on weather. There might be a few more podcasts put out. And some of them might come out on Friday instead of a regular video. But, we'll see. And, yeah, if you're just starting out, just kind of do it for the fun of it. Do it because it's fun, it's entertaining. You kind of like going back and watching some hunts, or, don't do it because you want to quit your job. Do it because it's fun and exciting, and it could potentially lead into you making a little bit of money off of it. If you actually want to become like a full-time content creator, you're not going to be a big famous person with a vlog where you get to make a video like this in the comfort of your home once a week and make a lot of money. It's just not going to happen. For some people, it happens, but if you watch like some of these things, they'll say like the top 1% of YouTubers are people who are actually monetized. And like, to get monetized is actually like the easy part. Even though you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watched hours. I mean, I'm getting 4,000 watched hours per month now, basically. So I mean, like, that part is easy. Growing a business, growing a brand, creating what I'm trying to create now, like creating a community kind of a thing, that part is hard and it takes a lot of dedication. And you also can't be like a real boring person. I hope I'm not boring, but you never know. Maybe that's why my channel's so small. Maybe I'm hard to watch. I don't know. I enjoy watching my own stuff, which is a bonus. But whether you guys like watching it or not, I mean, that's up to you, right? I I don't doll it up. I don't put a bunch of flashy stuff and do a bunch of cuts and edits and things like that. I just kind of, this is what I'm doing today. I package it all up as nice as I can, and I put it out there, and I mean, you might like it, you might not. Whatever. I'm having fun with it. And then, going forward this year, I actually have a ton of plans planned out. Uh, especially, oh, one more thing before we get into this year. This last year, one of the big milestones that I was able to make, uh, other than getting my first 1 million views, that was a big milestone in itself. But one of the major ones is when it comes to getting paid through YouTube and through Google and Alphabet, whatever you want to call them. Uh, you have to make a certain amount of money per month for them to actually give you a paycheck. Right now, I don't know if it's gonna change in the future, but right now, if you don't make $100 in a month, they won't pay you. They don't take the money away. They roll it over until you do cross that $100 threshold. But this year is the first year that I've made $100 every single month. So yeah, I've been monetized for 3 years, and in the third year, uh, yeah, I was able to make $100 a month, and I got a paycheck every single month. So I mean that's only something that people who are actually content creators will actually understand and will realize like how incredibly hard that is to achieve. And I was able to do it this year. So I mean like that is a massive milestone for us to cross. And hopefully that means that next year I'll easily make that $100 a month every month again. And like I said, that step is slowly turning into a ramp, and we're one step closer to actually being able to say that we've made it as a YouTuber. And you know, it like I said, it's gonna be a few years yet, but I'm slowly working my way to where I can actually think about quitting my job and just doing this, which is pretty cool. But yeah, going into this year, um, in February, I am taking a trip I've wanted to do pretty well since I first started going to the ocean. When I was like, I don't know, maybe 11? Yeah, right around there. Maybe 10? Nah, I don't know, whatever it was. I was young. I've always wanted to go to the ocean and just spend more time there. Like, I could never spend enough time on the ocean and just fishing wherever I want, doing whatever I want, kind of a thing. And, I've always loved the long trips that we would take. Uh, for me, though, I think the longest trip I've ever taken was like 6 days or something like that. Not even. Like 4 or 5 is usually the total length of time that we've actually spent along the coast. And this year, I am taking 3 weeks off of work, and I am disappearing. I don't, I don't even have a plan. All I know is that I'm loading up my truck with. I'm a, I'm thinking it'll be like my pop-up ice fishing tent, uh, for a shelter or tent while I'm down there. It's much bigger than my regular tent. You can stand up in it. You can put everything out, kind of a deal. It's nice and roomy, and it sets up in like 3 minutes, kind of a deal. Basically, putting in my tent, a couple of cookers, a cot, sleeping bag, foamy, grabbing my dogs, grabbing dog food, grabbing my tote of kitchen gear, and some fishing rods, tackle, and I'm just driving till the map turns blue. And I'm basically gonna spend anywhere between 3 days to a week along the Sunshine Coast around Powell River. Maybe longer, maybe shorter, I don't know. And then I'm gonna hop onto the ferry. I'm gonna boot across the pond to Vancouver Island, And I think that one comes out at like, is it Courtney or Comox area. And then I'm just gonna go up and down the coastline and just see what it has to offer. You know, I've the amount of times I've always, looked around while we're down south and just going, hey, you know what? I wonder if there's any fish in that river. Well, now that I'm there for 21 days this year, I'm gonna grab my fishing rod and damn it, I'm gonna go try. I'm gonna see what's in that river. You know what I mean? Uh, Say like you see a big old pile of rocks. You know, if I want to go and see if there's any rockfish there, I'm gonna grab my small rod, grab a handful of jigs, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna fish this rock pile. There's also a ton of places for fossils I want to check out. One is Fossil Beach. There's a bunch of ammonites that are on Fossil Beach. So in there, I gotta take another ferry to an island, check out Fossil Beach, see what's out there. While I'm there, I'm gonna try catching some fish. And one thing I want to do while I'm down there is do a bunch of like catch, clean, and cooks. Show people that like if you want to go and fish on the ocean, you can. You don't need a boat. You don't need a charter. You can catch crab. You can catch rockfish. You can catch greenling. There's all sorts of stuff you can catch during low tide. You can go out and you can catch. What the heck are they called? Them purple round ball looking things with all the spikes. You split them open. You eat the eggs out of it. You know, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna do that. See if it's worth it. See if those eggs are as good and as like creamy and whatever as a lot of people say they are. I don't know. We've caught them in our prawn traps before. I cracked one open. It just reeked like a rotten fish. But maybe that's because where he was in like 300 or 400 feet of water down in there with the prawns and was surrounded by rotten fish parts. I don't know. Maybe when you catch them in, cruising out on the rocks and stuff, maybe they're a little bit better. I don't know. I'm gonna find out. Same with like all the greenling and stuff like that are on the rocks. I mean, you see people catching them all the time, and I want to do that. Plain and simple. I just want to go down to the coast with my fishing rod. Uh, you know, camp out somewhere for a day or two, and then pack up, move to the next spot, do a bunch of cooking over the fire, check out oyster bars. Uh, there's a few spots where I can actually go out and hand dig for clams. I can hand pick oysters. I can hand pick mussels. And, I'm just going to live my life along the coast, like, kind of like the guy that's, living in a van down the river kind of a thing. Just a northern redneck hippie living a good life kind of a deal. And, it sounds kind of crazy and kind of weird that a guy's just going to load up his truck and just go for, almost a month and just kind of see what happens. And, I'm going to film it all. I don't know. I might do like a series kind of a thing or like a really long form video of like start to finish. Like, this is my trip down south. And then also break it up into like individual videos. Like today we're doing a catch, clean, and cook with a cast net, and we're gonna be catching Dungeness crab off the wharf, or off the pier, or at low tide we're gonna go and hand catch crab, or we're gonna hand catch an octopus or sea urchin. That's them spiny purple things. Or who knows, maybe there's a sea cucumber, or a catch, clean, and cook oysters, and I'm going to get a bunch of beech wood together, get a fire going, let it burn down, grab some willow, and I'm going to do my own smoked oysters. I really don't know. These are all the crazy, weird ideas I have floating in my head, and this is just for February. This isn't going into spring, summer, fall, and next winter. either. Uh, in the springtime, it'll be the usual. I'm going to be hunting bears up here in the north again. Um, After that, I really don't know. It kind of depends on boat projects and ocean fishing, to be honest with you. Because I did buy a second boat. I spent $6,000 on a 18-foot cuddy cab boat. It needs a little bit of work done to it. So basically whenever I can get the boat out of the yard and take it down to Kitimat, there's a mechanic down there that's going to be basically going through the boat and telling me if it's worth fixing or not. Uh, the only problem I have right now with that boat is like the motor and leg kind of a thing. It just there's some rusty parts on it. Like nothing looks major. So far I don't see anything cracked or anything like that. But basically I'm gonna get them to run through it, tell me if it's worth fixing or not. If it is, I'm gonna say fix it. Give me a bill when you're done. And then from there, it's gonna be my little 18-foot ocean boat that I can go out and actually sleep on. There's a cuddy cab in there, so in the nose of the boat or in the bow, there's a bed in there. There's a spot for a toilet. Uh, Inside the enclosed cab, there's a diesel heater. I have a sink. I have a little single burner cooker that's on like a gantry system. And yeah, it came with the VHF radio, so I gotta buy I think I have to buy the antenna for that though. I'm not too sure. I have to double check. And then the fish finder. I got some rods for Christmas presents from the father-in-law. So thank you, Rick, for that. And then basically, I'm going to be going fishing. And again, am I going to take it out twice in the summer, once in the fall, maybe twice overall in general, just throughout the year, maybe? Am I going to go, you know what? It's Thursday. I feel like going to the hot springs in Kitimat. I could be there tomorrow morning. I don't know. That's one thing that kind of drives people nuts with me is they could talk to me on Wednesday and say, hey, what are you doing on Friday? Be like, I don't know, I got no plans. Then when they talk to me on Friday, they go, hey, you want to come over? And I'll go, I would, but, I'm kind of like 13 hours away, ready to launch my boat at MK Bay Marina, and I'm going to the hot spring. You never know what I'm doing, what I'm up to, like my trip in February. I have no plans. I have no plans other than just to go and catch something to eat. Like, that is my main plan. Well, then, I got family, too. My dad lives down there. I'm going to spend I don't know, couple days with him. And then my mom lives on the island. She just moved down there a couple years ago, so haven't seen her in a couple of years. So I'm going to go and spend, a few days with her as well. But other than that, like, my plans are just go fish. Go fish, go find something to eat, film it, and, I don't know, hope you enjoy it. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Also, why I'm going in February is because that's usually when we get, like, minus 40 stuff here. So, yeah, it gets me away from the cold. I don't really know if there's going to be a whole lot for cold weather stuff in the future for this channel. Mainly just because I'm having a couple of issues with like circulation, and I don't think it's anything to be really worried about, but I'm having a couple of issues kind of like with my heart kind of a deal, but we're getting that all figured out. I don't think it's anything to be worried too much about, but it makes it so going out in the cold is extremely difficult. We'll say that. It's not fun at all. So when it comes to real cold weather stuff, chances are I'm staying inside where it's warm and I can still feel my fingers and my toes. But yeah, And then this fall coming up, I really don't know what I'm going to be doing. It kind of depends on the boat, to be honest with you. I'm going to stay up here and I'm going to do. See, in September is another time of year where I take another 3 weeks off of work. And during September, there's all sorts of stuff that's open up here, but it's also when the fishing is really good on the ocean. So, what I might end up doing is spend, I don't know, maybe half of it up here and then the other half down on the coast, maybe, because I can take my boat out and I can go and drop anchor in a couple of different bays and catch fish, or I can go tie up to one of the docks that are out there. I mean, there's a hunting season down on the coast too. Maybe we'll go after a blacktail or a coastal black bear or something. I don't know. I I have no idea. It's all part of the fun, and not just being like a YouTuber. That's kind of second, but just living this life that I get to live and that I'm so privileged to have, and something that I worked so hard to get. Where for me to go to the ocean, I can just leave tomorrow and go there. Uh, and I'm not saying that to brag. Part of why I do these videos is that I show you how easy it is to do this stuff. That's why I'm so looking forward to this trip in February, and why I've been so excited about like these boat projects. Because like, if you want to go and catch fish in the ocean, you can just show up with a fishing rod and jigs. You don't need to spend $2,000 a day on a fishing charter. Just go there. You don't want to spend money on $200 Super 8s. That's fine. Bring a tent. You know what I mean? So with me going down there and showing you this kind of stuff, same with boats. You don't need to buy a $40,000 Lund to go fishing. You can buy a $700 boat from an auction, put in like $200 with the parts. I don't even think it was that much. I think it was under 100. I think I spent $80 in parts. Get this boat fixed up and running, and you can take that out and go fishing in the lake. You don't you don't need all this real expensive fancy equipment. And if you want an ocean boat, you don't need to spend $100,000 on a welded aluminum boat. Again, you can buy something secondhand that's a fraction of the price, and sure, you might have to fix it a little bit, but at the end of the day, I bet you I'll have probably around $10,000 invested in this 18-foot boat. And man, I can't wait to show you the amount of fun and enjoyment you can have out of a cheapo fiberglass secondhand used boat compared to if I go out in Dad's, $100,000 Kingfisher. I mean, they're more than that now. If you want to buy a brand new Kingfisher, I think those things are like upwards around $130,000 now. And again, is it a nice boat? It is, absolutely. It's fantastic. It's phenomenal. It's beautiful. I got nothing but good things to say about that boat. But do you need it? Absolutely not. If you're a cheapo like me and you just want a boat to go fishing, and a boat that's safe and secure and it's going to get you there and back, buy a cheap one, fix it up. If there's something that's broke, fix it properly, have a couple of spare parts, a couple of tools with you, and go. Don't be afraid to go out fishing, even if it's by yourself. Something goes wrong, make sure you have your marine radio. Say pan pan 3 times, get a hold of the Coast Guard, they'll help you out. Or you talk to other people that are in the area, they'll drag you back in, make sure you pay them for their services, kind of a deal. And, don't worry about it. Just don't sweat the little things in life. Go out, enjoy your life, have fun. If you're lucky like me, you might even be able to get paid to do it. I mean, I don't get paid much, a couple bucks for a video, depending on the views. But, it it's cool. And then also, like, share your experiences. Don't be afraid to put things up on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram or whatever it is that you use, YouTube kind of a thing, and like show people like there's a lot more to life than just sitting on the couch and kind of wasting away. You know what I mean? Get outside, get on the lake, get on the ocean, get in the woods, go have a picnic, whatever. And I'm just glad that you guys are along for the ride for this. If you've been around since the start, I mean, I don't know how I can say thank you enough. Uh, it really it actually does mean a lot to me that people subscribe to the channel and they watch the videos. The odd time somebody uses one of those links and they buy something. Once in a blue moon, somebody will buy like a piece of merchandise, like my, cups or a hat or shirt or whatever. And, you know, it helps everything kind of come together, and we're slowly turning this into something cool. One big thing I forgot to mention, and I don't even think I mentioned it last year when I was getting everything rolled out with it, is in Hudson Hope, I'm starting up a Get Kids fishing program. With that being said, I got the final approval from the city council. We're going to be running it through the tourism, uh, what is it called? The tourism building, visitor center. Ooh, I'm a terrible salesman. But yeah, it's going to be done at the visitor center. Basically, starting out, I have 6 rods and reels, 6 tackle boxes, all full of a bunch of different little tackle and stuff. And you basically come in, you put your name, phone number, and email down on the list. You give us $20. They'll give you the rod and the reel and the fishing lures. You take it out and you use it for a day or two. If you bring it back and it's in good condition, we give you your $20 back, and then we'll put your name into a draw at the end of the year for a gift certificate of $100 to your choice of either your local sporting goods store, or it'll be to Canadian Tire, Backcountry, Core Lanes, kind of a thing. Uh, any store that has sporting goods. Don't ask for Staples or Best Buy or anything like that. It's not going to happen. It's for a sporting goods store, so you can go out and get your own fishing equipment or hunting gear or whatever it is to get you back outside. This fishing program is going to be like stepping stones to get people outside and enjoy fishing. So with that all being said, it's going to be starting up in Hudson Hope in May, and it's going to go from when the visitor center is open, so it's May to the end of September. And yeah, if you guys are in the Hudson Hope area, go to the visitor center. If they have rods and reels available, say hi, leave me a message, write a note, whatever. That'd be kind of cool if I hear back from people over it. And if we start to run out of fishing rods, or if there's a huge uptick and there's a lot of people that are wanting to participate in it, they're gonna let me know, and I'll run down to wherever it is, Canadian Tire, Backcountry, Core Lanes, Walmart, wherever, and I will stock up on fishing rods and reels and tackle boxes, and I'll try my best to make it so absolutely everybody that comes out who wants to give fishing a go has that opportunity. And like I said, at the end of the day, you bring back your gear and it's in good condition, you get your $20 back. So I mean, in a way, you're renting it, but it's a free rental. And like, mistakes happen if you accidentally lose a hook or something like that. It's no big deal. Or if like the rod breaks or like the reel like explodes for whatever reason, you'll still get your $20 back, or you should anyways. I'm not gonna be there at the counter, but like if you intentionally break stuff or steal stuff, you're not gonna get your $20 back. But I mean, it's whatever. It's 99% of people aren't going to abuse it. So I mean, if I have to replace a rod and reel here and there once in a while, it's not a big deal. So yeah, hopefully you guys can participate in that, and if it goes well, I really really want to try to expand it and go from Hudson Hope to Fort St. John, Dawson Creek, Chetwynd, Tumbler Ridge, and just kind of slowly expand it all out and really get people outside with their kids to go fishing. And then even from that, if that blows up and gets big, I might be able to kind of turn that into maybe some sort of a business deal. Maybe like a kayak rental or canoe rental or paddle boards and stuff to go with the fishing rods. Uh, you know, we'll see what happens in the future. You know, me and my big brain there, I'm always coming up with some weird ideas on how I can grow and expand and get bigger. Same with Average Joe's. I wanted to create something where if people want to give filming a try and just, have a place to put it, you can reach out to me and we'll start up like an Average Joe's playlist or whatever. So your videos will have a place to live on the internet, on YouTube, on my channel, or maybe we can just do a separate other channel and I already have like designs made up and stuff like that for like t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. And I don't know, maybe if somebody wants to submit a video, I'll, you know, give you a sweater or a shirt or a mug or whatever with the Average Joe's logo on it. And it kind of goes two ways here where it gives me something to upload onto the channel. Maybe that'll be like a Wednesday video kind of a thing. And then it also gives people a chance to give filming a try, give editing a try, and then to upload it onto YouTube where they can watch it without having to go through the process of creating their own channel. With that being said though, to create your own channel, it's very simple. You you sign up with an email address, you put in a password, and you're a YouTuber, basically. You hit that little create button that's on the top right corner, upload your video, create a thumbnail for it, and away you go. So I mean, like, you could upload it to my channel and get like, something with a logo on it, or you could just do your own thing and give it a try. That's where for me it's like, it's a real hard one for me to really push and to actively try to get going, because I mean, in my mind it doesn't make sense why I would upload onto somebody else's channel when I could just do my own thing, but I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really matter. It was just one of those things that I kind of thought would be kind of a cool project for like this community that I keep talking about, like you or your kids or whatever. And it's, I don't know. I thought it was kind of something neat that we could kind of do together and just kind of give her a go and see how it goes. But anyways, guys, I think that's about it. We talked about what happened this year, what's going on in the year coming up. And I can't thank you guys enough. This is your first video that you've ever seen of mine. Check out the channel. There's all sorts of playlists on there. I have the podcast on there. Uh, Hunting, fishing, exploring, fossils, dinosaurs. There's, man, I'm all over the place, and it's honestly it is hard to follow. But if you're just a regular, everyday, average person that likes getting into the outdoors and just kind of seeing what there is to see out in the bush, it's a very welcoming place for everybody. Leave your comments. I try to comment to the majority of them, whether they're good or bad, doesn't really matter. And yeah, try to make this a nice little fun place for everybody and videos for everyone to enjoy. But yeah, hopefully this gets you guys excited for this upcoming New Year's. And I want to thank everybody for watching. Leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you on the next one.